Good morning, everyone. Mustangofold here, and I'm going to give you a little tour and update as to what's been going on. If you are familiar and been keeping up with my videos, you've noticed it's mostly been kind of a let's play, let's build. Wow, that's a slow load today. Okay, so little explanation of what's been going on with my settings. I have been messing with them a little. My videos are kind of herky-jerky, cut and paste, and really dim. So, the dimness portion, I had originally tried going, if I improve the quality, if I improve the quality, if I improve the quality, it'll help. It hadn't. So all I've actually ended up doing, cranking this from moody to bright, so that the videos will be seen. Max frame rate has been lowered to 60, and I've turned on my attack indicator to add the crosshairs on my end. Now, on my recording software end, what I have done, I had been recording at 1080p at 10 megabits per second and a few other settings. I've actually lowered them. So we'll see if the videos improve overall, mostly because of how much bandwidth I've been eating up uploading videos. It's huge. So I've lowered those a little, and on my end improved what should be the original quality of what's being captured. My video software that I'm currently using, it's good for what it does. It's intended for more action type games where they'll just take a little segment and show that. This, much more intense. So it records much like a CCTV system. It's always on, it's always recording. However, on the back end, when I go to edit, I can quite easily go highlight a certain portion, go, I want that piece. And then I can skip over and go, I want this piece and this piece of assorted sizes. What I cannot do currently is add in pieces from separate video sessions, add in audio after the fact, or any effects, or anything else with it. It might be possible for me to arrange those highlights out of sequence. I have not tried this yet though, so I'm not sure if I can or cannot do it. So basically, anything you see here has to be done in one take. Any scene where all of a sudden something changes means I've skipped or I've gone back and I've tried to redo it prior to moving on to something else. It's almost like live TV, only pre-recorded live. Now, this platform was put in as the intended AFK location for that spawner. Well, for Guardian Spawner and Guardian Farm. It's not going to be required. So my intention is to raise this portal as high as possible, where it still functions as a two-way portal and nothing else leaps to it. I believe I can now put that up probably 40 spaces safely, maybe 50. Anything further, I will have to sit down and do all the calculations to see what portal is closer, or trial and error. However, it should be easier to run the calculations on paper to see what portal it would run to, or I can look and see if there is a spreadsheet program or something where I can just plug in the numbers and see where it will link. I'm sure someone has done that, because doing it by hand every time would frustrate you. And I used to do this kind of calculation for a living. So, this was not fun getting to. There's our first bedrock that we hit. There's a couple more pieces under this in the ceiling, but I was able to get the portal in as high as possible. The reason I want to raise that portal on up to 150 or 160 or 200 would be my preference, is because I plan on building my base in the air above it. Just so I'm closer to town and can interact more easily with everyone else. Having a base out at 12,000 by 12,000 at that other Guardian farm, lots of fun, lots of supplies. However, interacting with others, a headache. Even with the Nether loop, it's up to 20 minutes to get back to town. Okay, so I'm going to have to widen this. When I built it, I was more concerned about getting up and not falling to my death, and making sure the lava, because I had to go through a lava lake, well, technically, an ocean. That ocean. Video settings. Come straight up through the ocean and up. It was not pleasant getting through that. And then, once I had found out where it was, we're almost to our blaze farm. Another person's creation on the server. Hopefully they put that up. I will get permission to show it off if they do not post it on their own. That leads to the blaze farm. This pathway leads through there to our main Nether hub, town portal, which you can just see at the edge of the screen. You can see the town portal. That portal leads to town. So I would be much closer to my base here than I am out at 12,000 by 12,000. This then becomes a 2 or 3 minute run instead of 20. Anyway, carrying on to the lower level. That's the reason these are so close. Now that it's been built and I've got the foothold in, I plan on making this a little larger so that getting down is easier. This is a 0 by 0 portal in the Nether. On the other side, it was what I call my ocean drilling rig platform, because I went to 0 by 0 Nether, level 5, created a portal. It put me out level 60 something above sea level in the overworld. So, new station had to be lowered. I went a little overkill and lowered it to level 5. It can be level 6 to be an exact match, at which point something can be done here. Okay, so platform's gone. It's been dug down. Ocean, not as bad as lava, trust me. If you have any doubts, give it a try yourself. So this got pulled out. Now, when you get here and want to get into the Nether, you just drop. A layer of water on top of portals and pumpkins just pushes you over to the opening. Down you go with the ladder. To get out, climb the ladders. If you fall off, you just drop to the bottom again, unless you can grab the ladder. So, not pretty, but functional. So now, you come through, you run over, and get to Ocean Monument portals. One at the top will be the base, will be to my base eventually, directly above this. Here we go. We are going to show you where the storage system is and how it's progressed so far. So again, quite ugly. There is a way I can do this more efficiently and make it monstrously huge. However, the intention is going to be prismarine crystal, prismarine crystal, prismarine shard, and 1 stack for ink sacks coming down. Alchemy Girl was able to figure this out for me. She reviewed a bunch of videos. Instead of trying to build chest, trap chest, trap chest, as was demonstrated in the video, I can't remember whose video it was, but most likely it was associated with the folks over at Hermitcraft that originally built this modular sorter. We've left a gap between them in the redstone, so I will have Alchemy explain it to me at some point, or explain it on camera. So, Currently it's set up to sort out the 4 items that we have: fish, ink sacs, shards, and crystals. So that's our storage system. Once everything's built, pretty simple. Items are sorted, they come through, they get deposited into a double chest. Hopper below the double chest pulls down, forces in. Repeat ad nauseum, all the way down to the bottom in a stair design. So that's the storage area. It will be finished up. Once it's finished, this can be made pretty. And I plan on doing that using prismarine and sea lanterns. Because I should have a decent amount of them. This is the kill pit. Currently, I've got some pistons put in. I have to redo them. I will show that off when I'm able. Here, this is the extent of my skills with redstone so far. I have shut off the pit. I've now broken the ladders as well. But guardians, if this were active, would now be falling, hitting here, bouncing around, and not falling into the lava to die. However, that doesn't stop the full machine. So, those ladders are now being grabbed, thrown in, and they're going to end up in the unsorted. Depending on which side they fall, determines where they're going to end up. So let's head down and grab them. It's these 2 hoppers, plus the hopper running down, hoppers from up top running down in the background. Left side goes to left sorter, right side goes to right sorter. I don't know how fast this machine can handle input, so we figured we'd split it up. Gives us extra room for storage anyway. It's in the overall scheme of things, it's not a lot of materials considering what we've thrown in here. So, unsorted items, they both landed on the left. Okay. So I'll grab those, I'll show you what I need to do. So, better look. Those 2 pistons, too low. What I'm going to have to do is move them to this spot, this spot, this spot, and this spot. So, when they extend out above these, it should block. These may or may not still capture some of the ink sacs. I will have to test that. If they do, then I have to extend how many pistons there are another on either side, which will make it 12 pistons instead of 8. Here. So, pistons would come out, extend, and block off access to it. Which means I'm going to have to dig upwards, come around to both sides, and then put a control system in, much as I did here, only it's going to extend pistons from that side and this side instead of from these edges. So those pistons will be removed and put on that level.